Hollywood can be a very mysterious place. While it's all glitz and glam from the outside, these celebrities were not afraid to share their negative experiences with the world. First on our list is Brendan Fraser. Fraser's acting career has been revitalized in recent years, but there is a very troubling reason why he was absent from the big screen for so long. Now, back in the late 1990s and early 2000s, Fraser was a well-known face in Hollywood who's starring in many hit movies and was the frontman for the Mummy series. But after 2003, things took a very different turn for him. Fraser eventually branched out into TV shows and left the big screen behind for reasons that most people couldn't understand. That is until he made the shocking revelation in 2014 that he was the victim of a very inappropriate act by the president of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, Phil Burke, back in 2003. Burke initially stated that the story was a lie, and it sounds like various threats were issued against the actor for speaking out against Burke. This all resulted with Fraser being blacklisted from Hollywood for many years simply for exposing these disgusting acts. It wasn't until his triumphant return in 2022's The Whale that he was able to return to Hollywood and build up his confidence once again. His shocking revelations were a sad reminder of the terrible acts that go on behind closed doors in Hollywood and the great lengths that people will go through just to hide them. After that, we have Jennette McCurdy. The famous childhood actress who most of us remember as Sam from iCarly recently revealed that she never wanted to be an actress in the first place and only pursued it because her mother forced her to. In McCurdy's own memoir, she stated that her mother forced her to be an actor and would regularly put her on strict diets that caused eating disorders. Anytime McCurdy would mention that she didn't want to be an actress anymore, her mother would lash out and become hysterical and force McCurdy to stay in the entertainment business. Even when McCurdy became famous and figured her mom would finally be happy for her, it only seemed to make her mother jealous. When her mother finally passed away due to illness, McCurdy claimed that she was happy she could finally do what she wanted to do in life. McCurdy has stated on numerous occasions that she wants to be a fiction writer, and after the success of her own personal memoir, she signed a 7-figure deal with Penguin Random House to publish 2 of her own books. This was a harrowing reminder of some of the pressures facing child actors and how negative influences can seriously take a toll on them. Next up is Charles Harrelson. The father of Woody Harrelson did not live the same kind of life as his son Woody. We all know that Woody Harrelson is a great actor who has enjoyed a very long career in Hollywood, but his father had a very different kind of job in the entertainment industry. While it might have been kept a secret many years ago, various insiders managed to uncover that Woody Harrelson's father Charles was a hitman for 20th Century Fox. While that wasn't his full-time employer, it sounds like he had various tie-ins with other organized crime members who were working within Hollywood. Charles Harrelson was eliminating people left, right, and center, would pretty much do anything if someone waved some money in front of him. His victims included all sorts of people around the United States, but his career in organized crime came to a screeching halt in 1979. That is when he was tasked with taking out US District Judge John H. Wood Jr. While he ended up succeeding in his mission, he was not able to avoid capture. Charles Harrelson spent the rest of his life in prison while his son ended up turning into a tremendous Hollywood actor. It is a very good thing that Woody never followed in his own father's footsteps. After that, we have the cast of Glee vs. Lea Michele. When all of your co-stars turn on you and reveal what kind of a person you are behind closed doors, it's never going to end well. Glee was a show that captured the hearts of many across the world, but when the cameras weren't rolling, it was an incredibly tense affair. Samantha Ware absolutely ripped into Michele on Twitter, claiming her co-star made the working environment a living hell. She also claimed that Michele threatened to defecate in her wig at any given opportunity. Now, this obviously kickstarted some massive backlash against Lea Michele, who lost brand sponsorships, and Ware wasn't the only person who had something to say about the Glee co-star. Heather Morris also stated that Michele was incredibly unpleasant to work with, and other Glee co-stars were even labeling her as a complete and total racist. Even Matthew Morrison, who played Mr. Schuester on the show, sort of alluded to the fact that Lea was incredibly difficult for him to work with as well. He didn't get into many details when asked about her on FUBAR Radio, but he did say you want to be a pleasant person to be around, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Michele tried to save face by issuing public apologies, but this serves as a reminder to every Hollywood actor to treat your co-stars with respect. Up next is Eddie Mannix. He might not be a celebrity in the traditional sense, but he played an important role in ensuring that real superstars didn't lose their status. See, way back in the golden era of Hollywood, many celebrities were still carrying a ton of dark secrets that they didn't want to come to light. In modern times, people are generally exposed for their terrible antics on social media or on TV, but celebrities back in the day just found ways to make things disappear. But when things were too tricky and they couldn't handle it on their own, they would turn to the help of a fixer. A fixer is exactly what the name sounds like. They would clean up a celebrity's mess by simply making all of their problems go away. Eddie Mannix is one of the most well-known fixers of his era, and he assisted many big-name celebrities in covering up their darkest secrets. Now, there are many ways he could have made things disappear. We can only imagine what kind of legal activity you have to be involved with to do this. Fixtures were just another reminder that Hollywood was never too far away from the world of organized crime. This only proved that some people could buy their way out of pretty much anything back in the day. Next on our list is Viola Davis. Viola Davis called out her co-star Jared Leto for being too much like the Joker. Sometimes actors can get completely carried away in their own work. Now obviously it's good for an actor to stay in character so they don't lose their touch, but it sounds like Leto took things way too far. His co-star Viola Davis claimed that Leto would stay in character the whole time they were filming, and he would continue his character's psychopathic tendencies off set. The catalyst in the strange behavior is when Jared Leto apparently sent a box of bullets to Viola Davis. This seemed like much more than just a joke to Davis, to the point where she was actually worried for her own safety. She had no idea if there were any sort of subliminal messages behind the strange package. She even claimed that she nearly pulled out her pepper spray after receiving the disturbing gift. Viola went on to clarify that she was incredibly tough and even got into a few fights when she was younger. This strange moment really affected her in a deep and dark way. There have been multiple disturbing cases of actors taking their roles too far, but this also isn't the first strange thing that Jared Leto has ever done in his own life. Aside from his outlandish outfits, scaling the Empire State Building to promote his band, and supposedly running a cult, this honestly might not have been the weirdest thing that Jared Leto's ever done. Up next we have Jussie Smollett. This one was a literal self-inflicted wound that completely backfired on Smollett. The American actor has been a mainstay in Hollywood since the early 1990s, but a viral incident that took place in 2019 resulted in him being blacklisted from Hollywood. On January 29, 2019, Smollett filed a report with the Chicago Police Department and claimed that he was the victim of a violent hate crime. Now in the report, Smollett stated that he was ambushed by two men who yelled racist and homophobic slurs before pouring bleach on him and shouting, "This is MAGA country." After a lengthy investigation took place, however, it was revealed that the entire attack was staged, and the two men who supposedly attacked Smollett were two brothers who worked as extras on the show Empire, in which Smollett was a cast member. The disgraced actor was sentenced to 150 days in county jail and was sued by the city of Chicago for $130,000 for the cost of the investigation. This one shed light on some of the shady activities that go on in Hollywood, which could have serious impacts on major political issues. After that, we have Leah Remini. Remini went into a cult and came out of it a changed person, but it probably wasn't the change that the cult was hoping for. Leah Remini was one of the first Hollywood celebrities to enter the Church of Scientology and spent many years in the strange cult before she had a change of heart. She had initially pledged her allegiance to L. Ron Hubbard's bizarre religion before realizing that it wasn't all what it seemed like. Remini eventually quit the church and turned to the cameras to expose all the dark secrets behind Scientology. Now, to be fair, it was actually Remini's parents who forced her to join the church when she was just 9 years old, but she decided to quit for good in 2013. From there, she created her own docuseries, Scientology in the Aftermath, and exposed some of the scary scenarios that go on behind closed doors. She claimed that the church was performing psychological torture on its members and using surveillance to follow their every move. She also claimed that the church, which has various connections to other high-profile celebrities in Hollywood, would threaten anybody who was considering leaving. It's easy to see why many people consider this religion to be more of a cult than anything else. Remini's expose shed a light on all of their shady dealings. Up next is Selma Blair. Yet another celebrity who called out their own co-star. This time it was none other than Charlie Sheen, who was taking the heat. While Sheen was involved in plenty of controversies over the years that have earned him more than a few enemies, he ended up finding himself in yet another feud after starring in the sitcom Anger Management. Apparently Sheen and his co-star Selma Blair did not see eye to eye on many topics, and this led to a ton of on-set altercations. While Blair was obviously not afraid to voice her displeasure with her co-star, it proved to be a pretty risky move for her time as an actress on the show. In addition to being the show's lead actor, Sheen was also one of the series' producers, which meant that he held a lot of power over his co-star. After various on-set fights and arguments between the two actors, it was announced that Blair's time on the series was finished and she would not be returning. It was later revealed, however, that Blair had an issue with Sheen's work ethic and was not shy about letting him know. But instead of trying to work things out or actually improve on his own performance, Sheen sent a flurry of angry text messages to Blair letting her know that she was fired and would never be welcomed back. And finally, we have Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. This one was a double-edged sword that proved that Hollywood relationships can be very toxic and downright terrifying. We all remember the crazy trial that took the world by storm in 2022. Heard was working her way up the ladder in Hollywood and was earning herself roles in hit movies such as The Rum Diary and Aquaman. However, it was altercations with her now ex-husband Johnny Depp that earned her a lot of attention for all the wrong reasons. While there were numerous counts of abuse against Depp throughout their marriage, the incidents didn't come to light until Heard went to trial, and her abusive actions towards Depp were made public to the world. While Depp was clearly not perfect himself by any means, Heard only made things worse for herself as the trial went on. It was eventually proven through phone recordings that she would constantly abuse her ex-husband after she initially denied all allegations against her. In the end, however, Heard was found guilty in the highly publicized trial and lost many jobs as a result of the crazy feud with her ex-husband. While it was easy to get caught up in all the mayhem of the trial itself, this was another reminder there's a lot more to these superstar relationships than meets the eye. And that wraps up our look at the top 10 celebrities who exposed Hollywood rumors. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you all for the next one.